So I would now like to introduce the first speaker, Reza Karimi, who is a social entrepreneur and a lived experience leader himself. He is the community development lead with Scottish Refugee Council, which helps refugees and their communities to have the confidence and expertise to engage with local processes. Famously, the CEO of Scottish Refugee Council recently called him our shining star in a recent tweet. So here is the shining star, no pressure, from the organization, Reza Karimi.
Thank you very much, Hormuz. The teamwork, the Scottish Refugee Council, especially Sabir Zazai, our CEO, is very kind. Yeah, it's been a teamwork, the recent project, so I take no credit in that. Good afternoon, ladies and gents. I'm delighted and honored to be invited to this fantastic event. As Hormuz mentioned, my name is Reza Karimi, and I'm here to share with you that things don't always seem as they appear, nor they turn out the way you expect them to. 9 years ago, a few months before my undergraduate graduation, I was forced to flee Iran and seek asylum in the UK. As a 21-year-old, no English and no friends or family, I was placed in a detention center in Bradford when I arrived, and shortly after I got sent to Glasgow, where I spent the past 8.5 years and recently moved to Edinburgh. My asylum journey in navigating the British immigration system and dealing with the Home Office, or how I survived on £4.50 a day allowance whilst studying day and night to learn the language, getting my refugee status, retraining myself by going back to college to get my A-levels, applying to uni, completing my undergrad, and getting my master's degree, both with distinction, whilst working as a volunteer in the community centre for 20 hours a week. Could be quite interesting story to some, but these are things that I'm sure some of you refugee entrepreneurs with us today are familiar with. So what I want to focus on tonight's event is adversity and resilience, something that resonates with me. I've been telling a lot of our refugee entrepreneurs based in Scotland and Central Belt, where I focus primarily in my projects. And it turns out that the saying is true: some adversity in life makes us stronger, and that's been my story, and a lot of you, I'm sure, or at least better able to kind of handle everyday hassles. It's only up to a point, so there is no greater investment than a kind of investment within your own personal development. Experience and adversity is a great excuse, for some people to take charge of their lives. Well, we all face adversity in some way. What makes one individual succeed and another one to not succeed is how we handle that adversity. I've looked at a recent study that monitored the mental health and well-being, again, something that very much resonates with me, and a general well-being of nearly 2,000 people for several years, checking on them regularly. They were asked to list any troubling events such as divorce, loss of a parent, a natural disaster, and something that happened to them before the research began. They also kind of reported adverse events that happened during that research. The surprising result was that the ones who had previously endured hardship were happier afterwards. They were tougher in a good way. People who are never, challenged by life don't have the opportunity to learn how to overcome adversity, which in fact enables them to develop coping strategies. That's something that I believe happened to me and a lot of my former refugee friends, as I may say, and kind of important members of their social network, and kind of they feel competent even after they make it through. I'll also tell you this: don't let fear or outside influence keep you from taking that leap of faith, whether it's entrepreneurship or trying something new with your already developed business. Companies are constantly innovating, are the ones that make headlines and kind of lead their industries. As a leader, what I want to kind of tell you is that kind of making that forward movement all starts with you. So don't let that attitude of this is how it's always been done, but if it was kind of the way that things, the things that turn out to be, someone would have done it already. These are the things that will keep you and your business and entrepreneurial spirit away from tackling new problems and entering new marketplaces. So an industry disrupting product or service could be just around the corner, and then it's up to you to find it. These are all kind of the things that I wanted to mention to you today as my first keynote speech. And I'm kind of again honored and delighted to be invited to this event. And I'll back to you, Hormuz, if there are any questions, and
Thank you, Reza. That's really interesting. And the thing that really resonated with me was this aspect of fear holding us back. It's such an important thing to be able to deal with that and just edge ourselves forward bit by bit and gain a bit more confidence bit by bit to sort of fight the fear that we have that stops things. Just one question I have for you, and that is, if there was just one thing that you could advise these social entrepreneurs who are so excited about their ideas, they've done such hard work in this program to put them into action, what would your advice be?
If it's just one thing, it's a bit tough. The kind of the usual things of surround yourself with positive people and of kind of the usual kind of exercise. These are the easy things, but something that I came across a couple of years ago, just before the pandemic, and something that kind of got me through the 2 years of the pandemic we've been through, and it's a lot more difficult, and kind of feeling of loneliness for a lot of social entrepreneurs that I'm supporting them in Scotland. Something I came across, it was a model that a good friend of mine who's a life coach and a mentor and supports us in a lot of our projects, Dale Todd, told me was the PERMA model. So it's something kind of I want some of our good refugee entrepreneurs to look up, a PERMA model of happiness. This is something I think a gentleman, I can't remember right now his name, in University of East London came up with, and this is puts life into different pillars. And if you want to kind of reach that state of happiness, you need to kind of follow different kind of these pillars need to come together. So the PERMA, the first one is positive emotion, E is for engagement, R is for positive relationships, M for having a meaning in life, and A for accomplishment. So all of these things as different kind of the 5 pillars need to come together for you to kind of to say, yeah, I'm happy, I'm content in life. And that's kind of something that I'll always kind of remember. I've kind of printed out and I put it in my journal, daily journal. Kind of when I open my daily journal, I look at it and say, okay, today I probably need to look after my physical health or my mental health, or I haven't had a chat with family and friends. So this is something I need to do, or I need to go and have a walk with my partner. So these are the things that kind of kept me going. And one of if one of them is missing, and I kind of like to use the analogy of the smoke alarm, before you need to before you get to that point that you know, kind of the feeling of burnout, and you're saying, oh yeah, but I haven't had that chance to do this. You need to realize that this is a time for you to perhaps reach out to your families. For a lot of us, I haven't been back to Iran, you know, since I left. Is a lot difficult. You know, well, I kind of wanted to call up my family and catch up on you know, with them and checking on them. So that's something I always had the kind of after catching up. I always had the energy, you know, extra pumped up to do more things and keep on moving. So that's if there's one thing, I'm still going to look up PERMA model and see if you can keep all of those pillars intact.
That's really fantastic. One bit of advice, which is the PERMA model, but really, as you say, it encompasses, you know, this balancing act that we all need to make sure there are things happening physically, mentally, making sure we give enough attention to different aspects in our lives. And it's a pleasure as a fellow Iranian to be talking with you. Thank you so much for your contributions for this evening. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me.